welcome to another episode of Bone App-A-Geek, which is what we've decided to call this. We are today doing for you some recipes from the Orange is the New Black cookbook, because the Orange is the New Black next season is coming out on Netflix. I think that's on June 9th, so this will be coming up pretty close to when that premieres on Netflix. So we decided to do some recipes from there. Make sure you follow us on social media. That's going to be down here. Marshall does like to push pictures of our test recipes as we're doing them on there with the cookbooks if we can. So make sure you're following him, and you know, I have a lot of pictures on there as well, so make sure you're following us down below. This is a digital cookbook, which means I don't have a physical copy to show you, but we're going to put a picture of it probably right here. And as far as what we're doing today, we actually are trying to do a little bit more with our setup. So we have the main camera that you're going to see right here, and then down at the bottom we also have a Sony Action Cam, which you will be able to see what's going on down here a little bit closer, or when we're over at the stove I will take it on over there so you guys can see it. But if you like this kind of thing, please let us know. Comment below what you want us to do. We have some really good ones coming up. We've got some Walking Dead, we've got some Doctor Who, we have some Psych. But you know, we keep getting like more and more cookbooks as we go, and then I think our goal at the end of this is, once we've exhausted all the cookbooks or all of the recipes we want to do, we will be taking current or nostalgic TV shows and movies and making our own recipes based on that. So if you guys are interested in that, please comment below. Let us know this is something that you want to see. Yes? Alright, so for today, for the Orange is the New Black, we are doing two recipes. So the first one we're doing is Crazy Eyes Chocolate and Vanilla Fudge Swirl. So that is just a basic no-bake fudge recipe. And the second one we're doing is
Chang's Sticky Fingers Movie Night Popcorn Balls.
Yeah. So this is by my Chang, but I'll read the little synopsis a little later. But first we're going to start with the fudge, as that takes a little bit longer to set up than the popcorn does. Alright, so for this recipe, for the fudge, basically I'm going to be taking point on it, probably because I have more experience with fudge than Marshall does. But basically what we're using in this recipe is we've got some butter that we're going to be using for the actual pan to make sure that nothing sticks. We've got evaporated milk. We have sugar, but we don't use regular sugar because we like to do low sugar. And granted, this recipe is not low carb or low sugar in any way. We do this for you, even though we shouldn't be eating this. But we use baking Truvia, which is more of a mixture of the stevia with the sugar, so it's not as high in the glycemic index. And then we got some just basic sea salt. We have some of the marshmallows, mini marshmallows, vanilla extract, and then we have some Ghirardelli semi-sweet. We got the good stuff for that. So what we are going to do first is we're going to take our baking sheet and we're going to put foil so that it goes down in and through the pan, and then we're going to put the butter on the foil so that it doesn't stick.
In retrospect, this might have been easier just to spread out a flat sheet of this stuff and then put the butter on it. Really, this butter is just there to act as a lubrication layer, I think, if I'm reading them right.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is whisk together the evaporated milk, sugar, and salt and bring to a boil. So, 3/4 of a cup of milk in there. 1 3/4 cup of sugar and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
So we got this from the Container Store, and so you can just slide that doodad there, and it'll change the amount that you're measuring. I like that.
Did you just say doodad?
Doodad.
So you need to go ahead and whisk that all together, and then you're going to bring it to a boil over medium heat and stir constantly for 5 minutes. You can see it's starting to get a little like bubbly. And what we're going to do is we just have to kind of wait for it to get a little bit sticky and pull away from the sides of the pan. He's going to keep stirring it so that it doesn't burn. So I wanted to read you a little bit while we're waiting about the background behind this particular recipe. This is Suzanne Warren. She's also known as Crazy Eyes, and this is what she says about this recipe. I wish we could get a soft serve machine in Litchfield. A lot of toppings too. Strawberries, cookie crumbles, jimmies, maybe some pineapple when I'm feeling like having a luau in my mind. The greatest topping, without a doubt, is gummy bears. Now, alone, they're delicious, but once they hit the soft serve, they begin to harden up. Suddenly, your mouth is on a mission to destroy the gummy bears, but they won't give up without a fight. They get tough, and eating them is so much fun. I don't really like chocolate, and I don't really like vanilla, but when they're together, two flavors become one, and it's magic. Chocolate and vanilla swirling together to create a truly sublime taste. What a way for those gummy bears to go. When I'm in need of my swirl these days, the fudge in the cafeteria keeps me going, but I sure will miss those bears. That's really cute. Alright, so basically what happened here is we're going to have to let it cool a little bit. You can tell there was a little bit of like browning and burning, which we may have cooked the whatever this was. What was this? Evaporated milk?
Yeah.
We may have done it a little bit too much because it wasn't really getting sticky and coming away from the pan. But we're going to let it cool for 2 minutes, and then we're going to add this, which is 1.5 cups of marshmallows in there as soon as it... Alright, we're going to be putting the marshmallows in right now, and you got to stir it for 2 to 3 minutes. Just want to make sure that the marshmallows don't stick, but that they're melting really nicely. And again, this actually was a recipe we did not try yet. We didn't test this, so this is legitimately first time doing this. Hopefully it is okay and we didn't burn the milk too badly there. Alright, so it is melted. We're putting in 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Quickly put in the chocolate chips, which is also 1.5 cups. So we want to make sure that goes in there so while it's still warm so that it melts the chocolate chips. Stir until the chocolate chips are melted, but not completely incorporated, so you can still see some of the white. Refrigerate for about 2 hours. Okay, so we're basically waiting for the fudge to get hardened in the fridge. And while we're doing that, we're going to be doing the popcorn balls. Right now, you can see it back there. We are cooking up the popcorn. We use microwave popcorn. Well, we don't use microwave popcorn. We get regular popcorn that we have like a bowl that we put in the microwave with some coconut oil, and that's how we make our popcorn. Like air popped kind of thing.
Another way that you could do it is to like get a pot, a big old pasta pot, put the kernels in there with some oil, and then just heat it on the stove. You gotta be careful, like shake it up a lot. I tried this very recently and it started to burn at the bottom.
Yeah.
Even if you're shaking it, you just gotta be really careful.
Yeah, so Marshall is a lot more familiar with how to do this popcorn recipe, at least a little, but I'm going to kind of help, like I said, from behind the scenes. This recipe in particular, which is called...
It's called Chang's Sticky Fingers Movie Night Popcorn Balls.
So I can read a little bit about what it is. I'm not going to read it word for word because we don't like to swear a lot on our channel. We like to keep this family friendly. Yes, we like to keep this family friendly. So I'm going to kind of read it a little bit. So May did work in the kitchen too. I think she also worked in not the infirmary, but like the depository or whatever it is where you can get your supplies. She basically said, my father told me many times, you want to make a lot of money, you got to be strong like hard metal. The customer always wants a better price, but you must not listen to the excuses. Same in prison. Nobody wants popcorn all week. Girls want candy or chips, but no popcorn. Not me. I plan ahead for the future and take all the popcorn. Then on movie night, every girl come to me and say, you got some butter popcorn? I give fair price if they come early, but the closer to movie time, the more the price. Some girls tell me a story, a sad story. I lost my stamps. I didn't remember it was movie night. I say, in the end, they always pay.
Okay. I've never actually watched this show. So this is just funny stories to me. I don't know who these characters are really. Like, is this a big character in the show?
No, she's fairly, like, she's a smaller character, but she is funny. Oh. There's just a lot of characters in the show, like a lot of characters. So that's why I don't remember much about her. I do remember some. I mean, I've seen all of it, but yeah, I mean, honestly, we just wanted to make popcorn. Yeah, and we thought the desserts were good for this particular thing. Can you smell that coming out of there?
I can totally smell it. I'm keeping an ear out because I don't want it to start burning.
Okay, well, we'll come back to you when the popcorn is done and start the next batch. Popcorn, as you can see, the popcorn is over there, already popped and ready. And we're going to put a stick of butter in here, along with the honey, which is right here. That's about 1.5 cups of honey. And then we have half a teaspoon of salt right there. The thing that kind of like is funny about this recipe to me is that we were using unsalted butter as it told us to, but now we're putting salt in it. So why are we not using salted butter? I don't know. But anyway, so we're gonna put all of those ingredients into the pot.
Mm-hmm. What temperature are we gonna be heating it at?
Medium heat. I believe there's a spatula over there that I left out that you put into this. That's about a teaspoon of it. Okay, and just stir that in, but be very careful. And then you're going to put the butter mixture over the popcorn to coat it completely. And then what we're going to do is put it in the oven for about 25 minutes, and every 5 minutes he's going to go in and stir it. But he wants to make sure that it's not going to be overly crispy. This is the fudge. We just took it out of the oven, took it out of the fridge, and we'll be cutting it up and putting it on a plate along with the popcorn balls so that we can show you how it turns out. We have the finished product for what we have. We got the fudge right here, and we have the popcorn balls on here. Now the fudge is very crumbly. It is good though.
Yeah, nice and sweet.
Yeah, you get a mixture of the chocolate and the vanilla. I think what makes it is putting the chocolate chips on top too.
Yeah, because you got to make sure that you also get some of the chocolate in the portions that are just marshmallow vanilla.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's try the popcorn balls.
The caramel starts to come apart pretty quickly.
Mm.
Okay, actually it's a really good idea that we did these together because this is kind of the salty and that's the sweet. So when you have the two together, neither are too much and both are better.
Thank you so much for watching App-A-Geek. Make sure you join us on Wednesdays, Fridays.
And sometimes Sundays.
And we will be doing more of this, so yes. Till then.
Stay zany.